In many cases, other countries are in fact, I would argue, ahead of Canada in terms of trying to figure out some of the questions around sustainable finance. But for Canada, we actually need to be at the table. We need to be figuring out how these things are defined and making sure that it isn't other countries basically telling us what sustainable finance is. We need to be at the table. I think what we're seeing now very clearly is the inevitability of a transition to a low carbon economy. I mean, what we've heard at our sessions is the rapid pace of technological change in countries like China, the tremendous growth in electric vehicles, the tremendous growth in renewable energy. And I think sometimes conversations I hear in Canada don't seem to recognize the extent and really just the comprehensiveness of the change that's happening right now. What is the data that we need to make better decisions? And part of that is disclosure of carbon risk. And so we know from the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure that there are things that we can do. There are things, in fact, that I think we're going to see next year in the EU and the UK, significant movement toward carbon disclosure. Canada needs to be out in front on that. Again, we're a country that's at great risk if we don't get ahead of the curve on these issues. I think one of the challenges with sustainable finance is it sounds like a big, broad, complex thing. And if you break it down into what are we actually talking about, it seems much simpler. So take energy efficiency, for example. We need to retrofit many buildings all across the country. And that could be retrofitting homes in Indigenous communities. It could be commercial buildings in our major cities. But right now, the finance sector isn't well set up to fund lots and lots of little tiny projects. So we need new kinds of mechanisms that aggregate the potential benefits of these efficiency investments and then create new products that allow larger financial organizations to invest in those.